When it comes to renting movies, you can either get in your car, drive to the video store, and hope it's available from just a few thousand titles that store offers, or you can just go to your computer and order a movie from Netflix, which has over 100,000 DVD titles to choose from at any given time. Netflix has revolutionized the movie rental business by simply changing the distribution strategy to one that better serves the customer, and it's paid off big time. In 2007, they were the #1 online retailer, shipping enough DVDs every week to eclipse Mount Everest if they were all stacked up. Now that's what we call distributing products quickly and efficiently.
Netflix was started in 1997 by Reed Hastings and some others. Reed Hastings is the CEO and chairman of Netflix currently. He was introduced to the DVD format by this friend, and he had this idea of mailing them to himself to see how they'd hold up in the mail. He went out and bought a bunch of CDs, a dozen or so CDs, because DVDs weren't available, and he put them in different first-class envelope mail and dropped them in the mail to himself. And when they all came back intact, he knew he was onto something. And then later, he was at the gym and realized that people were paying for a monthly subscription to the gym, whether they worked out once a month or 10 times a month or 30 times a month. And he put those two ideas together and came up with Netflix, where you can rent DVDs via mail on a subscription basis and rent as many as you want, and your postage is paid both ways by Netflix. You can keep the DVDs out as long as you want with no late fees ever. And that took off.
Whether it's movie rentals, groceries, clothing, or just about any other product or service, those products have to get from the manufacturer to the customer. And in most cases, they get there by means of marketing intermediaries, or what used to be called middlemen, which are organizations that move goods and services from producers to customers. Just about every product or service available for purchase today utilizes one or more wholesalers, retailers, or brokers who bring those products to the end customer through different distribution channels. The way cars and furniture are brought to market is different than the way groceries or insurance is brought to market. These marketing intermediaries, or middlemen, are sometimes thought of as adding unnecessary costs to the final product or service, but that's simply not true. Intermediaries often make distributing products quicker and much more efficient. Just take a look at a scenario where 5 manufacturers have to sell and distribute products to 5 retailers. Adding a wholesaler to the channel of distribution cuts the number of contacts from 25 to 10. Intermediaries do add cost, but often the value they bring far outweighs the alternative. Just take a look at the breakdown of the cost of food you buy in a grocery store. You can see that the farmer only makes 25 cents of your food dollar. Intermediaries make up the rest. But without them, would you be willing to drive hundreds of miles to 10 to 15 different farms to get your food each week?
One of 58 distribution centers that Netflix has around the country. Big ones, small ones. This is one of our larger. This is actually the second largest distribution center in the Netflix network. This is in Fremont, California. We've got about 160 employees here. What we're doing right now is rental return. I mean, Netflix has got a lot of elements that people won't even think. We're a great trucking company. We've got lots of trucks out on the roads picking up the mail from the United States Postal Service. These are filled with DVDs that people have returned from all around Northern California. We bring the discs in the boxes into the distribution center. We take the cardboard sleeve off of the containers, and then we deliver boxes to all of our associates. The envelope is ripped open, the sleeve is removed, the disc is removed from the sleeve. We make sure that the disc has no cracks or abrasions, and make sure it matches the sleeve, because the disc and the sleeve have to match. That's kind of the key to the system. All the DVDs and Blu-ray discs are put in the feeder, and it comes through here, and right there the barcode is scanned. The barcode on the sleeve of the disc is scanned right there, and that's when you receive your email that the disc was returned. So rental return happens right here. It's all electronic inventory. After the DVDs are returned, and after we scan them to determine if they have an order for today, they come over here. And in this machine they insert, the machine flattens them out. The machine has a suction that lifts this part right here, and suction picks up the disc and slips the disc in. The machine then takes the fold and folds it over, removes the tab, shoots that adhesive strip into the garbage can here. The machine does a wonderful job. The stuffer stuffs DVDs about 4,200 an hour. Right here, the disc barcode is scanned right there. So in 1/32 of a second, from here, it reads the barcode, and in 1/32 of a second, it translates that barcode to the customer. John Smith at 123 Main Street in Anywhere, California. This is replicated in 58 distribution centers around the United States, doing the same exact process right now so that Netflix members can get their movies tomorrow.
You see, intermediaries add utility or value to products or services. There are various types of utility, including form utility, which are the actual products that manufacturers produce. But intermediaries provide most of the other important utilities. Time utility is something that retailers who are open 24 hours a day provide. Netflix is a perfect example of a retailer that provides maximum time utility value, since their website is accessible any day, anytime. Place utility is having products where people want them. If you need some personal items, a snack, or some gas for your car, there's usually a drugstore, convenience store, or gas station that offers any of these products nearby. Possession utility is facilitating the process of transferring ownership from one party to another, which is what real estate brokers, bank loan officers, or mortgage brokers provide. Information utility, the value added by information, is provided by intermediaries such as newspapers, websites, libraries, and salespeople. And finally, retail service staff and companies like Geek Squad all provide service utility, which is the value of fast and friendly service before and after the sale.
Reed Hastings, the co-founder of Netflix, in 1997 named the company Netflix, not DVDs by mail, because the vision early on in the early internet was that movies would all be coming to you instantly, streaming. And he and the founders thought in 5 years everything would be streaming. So by 2003, everything would be streaming. Well, 2003 came and went, and the technology was there, but the consumer acceptance wasn't. The reality is Netflix has a remarkable streaming offering where you get movies delivered to you instantly via the laptop, the PC, or the Mac, or directly to your TV with a Netflix Ready device by a number of companies.
So now that we learned about the value intermediaries bring, let's talk for a moment about the two main types of intermediaries, wholesale and retail intermediaries. Wholesalers sell goods and services to other businesses or institutions, whereas retailers sell goods and services to consumers. There are many more different types of retailers than there are wholesalers. The stores where we buy products are just a part of the retail picture. Non-store retailers are also a big part of the picture and include telemarketing, vending machines or kiosks, direct selling, multi-level marketing, direct marketing or catalogs, and electronic retailing.
Consumers have a lot of ways to rent movies. The Dark Knight can be enjoyed at Netflix by renting it on DVD, on Blu-ray disc. You can also get The Dark Knight downloaded from a service, pay to watch it. You pay $4.95 and watch it right then. You can go to a store and pick it up. You can go to a kiosk and pick it up at your local Walmart or your local grocery store or your local pharmacy. There are a lot of ways for consumers to enjoy The Dark Knight. What Netflix wants to do is make it as convenient and as easy for you to do that with the multiple options of Blu-ray disc, of streaming, of DVD, the traditional DVD. Netflix has 100,000 titles on DVD, which is far bigger than any other catalog anywhere. It's the biggest catalog for rental anywhere. We have 12,000 of those titles available to watch instantly on the PC or on the Mac or on your TV if you have a Netflix Ready device by a number of different partners. Xbox 360, Roku, LG Electronics, and Samsung have Blu-ray disc players that stream instantly from Netflix, and the TiVo also has one of its devices you can stream instantly from Netflix. So we make it as convenient and with greatest selection and greatest value.
Netflix is a perfect example of an electronic retailer. Don't forget that Netflix is a marketing intermediary. Movie studios produce the movies that Netflix markets and distributes to consumers. But the real genius behind Netflix is their website.
Netflix has 10.3 million members, which means we have 10.3 million individual websites because every Netflix member's website is unique to that member. Unique to your ratings, unique to your rentals, unique to the movies you have in your queue. And the Netflix website really is a thing to behold if you love movies, because we present movies to you on the Netflix website that you're going to enjoy based on your rental history, and if you rate movies, based on your ratings. And we have 2 billion ratings in the Netflix database from members over the years, and with those ratings, with collaborative filtering and the algorithms, the software that sorts those ratings, we can tell you, we can present movies to you that we know you're going to enjoy based on other people's ratings of those same movies and movies that they've rated similarly that we think you're going to enjoy. So what people think of Netflix is a great delivery company for movies. But what people don't realize is Netflix is really a software company. Everything that's done at Netflix is done on the back of brilliantly written software organically developed at Netflix.
Raw material suppliers, manufacturers, wholesalers, and retailers work together to bring products to consumers through what's called the supply chain. Netflix is a very unique supply chain because of their total dependence on the U.S. Post Office to not only deliver DVDs to their customers, but also to return them back to Netflix.
DVDs that are rented by customers at Netflix are kind of like electrical current. They're always in motion from the moment they were generated at the power plant to the moment they're sent out over the wires using the electrical current analogy. In reality, they are always in motion. When we get a DVD, we buy it from the studio directly. Netflix receives the DVDs at one central operations center in Columbus, Ohio. And there we receive about 300 different titles a day. We take all the discs that come in on spindles or even in the jewel cases, and we put them in individual sleeves with the name of the movie and a synopsis of the movie and the date and the rating and all that on the sleeve. And that sleeve then is sent to distribution centers around the country.
Choosing the right transportation mode along each step of the supply chain is critical, and there are many choices. Trains are good for large bulk shipments. Trucks, on the other hand, are good for small shipments to remote locations. Water transport is good for overseas shipments, but is very slow. Pipelines are perfect for transporting water and petroleum products. Air transport is fast, but expensive. Some companies combine multiple modes of transportation into what's called intermodal shipping.
Netflix is very dependent on our delivery partner, which is the United States Postal Service. Without those 630,000 mail carriers around the United States, Netflix doesn't get DVDs to its customers. So we really do depend on the Postal Service. Netflix is the largest growth customer for first-class mail for the United States Postal Service, so we have a really strong relationship. But that doesn't guarantee us any favors or anything, because the Postal Service is essentially run by the government and it's got its requirements, and so Netflix has the service that everybody else gets.
So you see, marketing intermediaries like Netflix are not only essential to bringing products and services to market, but also continually compete to provide greater and greater value and service levels to consumers. So if you ever find yourself renting a movie from the comfort of your home, just think about how much easier it is than driving to a video store, hoping that the movie you want to rent is available. And think about how cutting out the middleman is not such a great idea after all.
Prior to Netflix, there was really no convenient way to rent movies. You had to drive to the video store. You had to pay punitive late fees. You had kind of crummy service. The selection was poor. The typical video store has about 3,000 to 5,000 titles. At Netflix, we have 100,000 titles on DVD. And it really hadn't been done in any other industry either. There were CDs by mail, and the record clubs, and there were books by mail. But an unlimited subscription service for DVDs had never been done. And people liked it. The idea took off. People thought it was a good idea. They liked the fact that they didn't have to pay late fees. You can keep the DVDs as long as you want. The unlimited selection, of course, you rent as many as you want in a month. It really was very popular with consumers, and it continues to be so.